What would you think if I told you that there are homeless people out there who can make $10,000 a month with copywriting? I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but I've actually helped someone do exactly that last year. Now, if a homeless person can do this, don't tell me that you can't do it. Today, I'm going to give you a full email copywriting course completely free, and here's what you're going to learn. Firstly, I'm going to explain what email copywriting is and how you can make so much money with it as a beginner. Secondly, I'm going to show you some real life emails that have made a lot of money and break them down live in front of you. The third thing I'm going to show you is a tutorial for using email marketing softwares so you can straight up work with clients and make a ton of money doing this. Okay, so before I dive into showing you actual emails and stuff, I need to explain why email marketing is so profitable and why it's important that you learn this. Because if you don't understand what I'm about to say right now, everything else in the video will not make sense. So every single online business in the world has something called an email list. And an email list is simply a list of email addresses from people who were customers or people who decided to sign up in exchange for a free discount or some sort of other gift. Essentially, these are a list of people who you can market to through email inboxes. And look, I'm 25 years old and I started this when I was 20 and I thought who actually buys anything through email? So I kind of disregarded it. But then I learned that it's actually a huge way that a lot of businesses stay in business and make money. So let me give you a quick example of why email marketing makes so much money for businesses. Let's just say we take a business that has 100,000 people on their email list. Then let's say they sell a product that's $200. So out of that 100,000 people, if literally only 1% of the people who receive an email to buy this product buy it, that's 1,000 people who have decided to buy the product. And 1,000 people multiplied by a $200 product equals $200,000 in sales for that business. So the money to be made as an email copywriter, as a beginner like you, is all in these little percentages of how many people buy from the emails. So these businesses are literally so happy, they would tear your arm off to pay you $2,000 to $5,000 a month to write their emails better. And so now I'm going to get into the main course. I'm going to show you exactly how all of this works. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. We also have the best coaching program in the entire world for copywriters. So if you want to apply for that, the link is down below. Okay, so my camera died last night and I wasn't able to shoot the rest of the video, but it's morning time. I'm ready to get into this. Let's just show you a couple of emails. So I've got a few emails here. I've got one that I wrote for a product that I was selling, and I've got a couple from other industries. So you get a good wide range of emails and you kind of understand how to sell different products in different industries instead of me just showing you the same thing over and over again. So the first one, I just put basically the sort of subject line is a dog shit in my mailbox this morning. Now the reason I did this is because the goal of a subject line, right, is to grab the reader's attention. So if my subject line was, don't miss this amazing chance to get 10% off, what do you think the response would be? Nobody would click it, right? Because nobody really cares and they've seen the same thing over and over again. And this is what a lot of beginners will make the mistake of thinking is, I'm just going to write whatever I've seen before, I'll just copy that and that's probably what I should use, right? But you have to actually think about, how do I grab somebody's attention? If you go through your email inbox and it's like email from Karen, hey, can you respond to this? It's like email from, Nike, oh, check out our new winter collection. And then you see a dog shit in my mailbox this morning. Which one are you most likely to click? Pretty obvious, a dog shit in my mailbox. So let's just get into the actual email. So the goal of a subject line, and this is so important, the goal of a subject line is just to get them to click. It's just to get them onto the email. It's not to sell them on anything. It's not to do anything else. It's literally just to get them on the email. And then once you get them on the email, the goal of each single line is to get them to the next line. So 7:32 a.m. Dubai. So the reason I suppose I wanted to paint a visual picture for the reader here. So I just said, this is the time. They can kind of imagine me in an office in Dubai at this time. It's early, the sun's out. It's a cool sort of nice vision to imagine. My eyes open and the stink hits me immediately. So I was trying to be funny on this one. It's almost making me sick. That's how bad it is. So I'm just you see how I'm not really I'm not really very clear on what I'm talking about. I'm kind of just getting straight into it. I go and open my email inbox and there it is, a steaming pile of dog shit. So this is where you introduce sort of the important element. This is where you pay off what was in the subject line and you sort of kick the story off. Forgive me for the crude language, but it needs to be discussed. This also just sort of displays, the way I'm writing here displays confidence. Like, I'm not asking them for anything. I'm just telling you a story. Whether you want to read it, is your decision. Forgive me for the crude language. So this year I've decided to invest every penny I make from my education company back in. So if you don't know, I have a coaching company for beginner copywriters, which you can apply for down below in the description. We don't accept most people, but I basically decided this year that I'm going to invest every single penny I make back into the company so that we can grow next year. So I'm not, you don't see me sitting with 15 Rolexes and 5 Lamborghinis. So yeah, no profit from me this year. I've hired 4 people in the last month, and this week I decided to hire thumbnail designers. Okay, yeah, I remember what this one was. Thumbnail designers for my YouTube channel, right? So this is me trying to tell them a lesson, I suppose, about copywriting, and then pitch them on something later in the email. So I basically was establishing credibility in the first few lines of this email. So it's like, look, I am not selling you anything. I have spent a lot of money this month to give you better services. And this week I decided to hire a thumbnail designer. So this is me starting a little story. Here we find the culprits. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is kind of where I went for. So the dog shit in my mailbox, right? I'm just going to read through it, and then you can kind of enjoy it. Here we find the culprit of this morning's act of vandalism. I ask all applicants to send me sample thumbnails of what they do for my channel. Christ. I'll include some of the best/worst here. So here are some of the thumbnails that I received. This bottom one is a real beauty. Really, really bad. This got me thinking, how many of you on this list are sending the equivalent of dog shit to your prospects when you outreach? So I'm obviously targeting people here who are like you, who are beginner copywriters, and they've probably started reaching out to try and get themselves clients so they can get paid. And I'm asking a question that that I know they will have a question in the mind of, is like, is my outreach any good? And so I say, how many of you are sending the equivalent of this whenever you do your outreach? It's probably 90% of you, because beginners aren't good at this stuff. Today's lesson is that before you write for businesses, you must actually be good at writing. You'll know you're getting better when you spend 80% of your day researching the niche rather than just clapping together a dog shit piece of copy in 20 minutes. So this is an important thing. Most people get into copywriting and they actually aren't good at it at all. Like they start doing the outreach stuff, they start trying to make money with it before they're even good at it, right? And you end up with sending shit like this out. And so I'll just go here, right? So my expectations for anybody who applies for a basic gig like thumbnail design is that 98% of the applications will be dog shit. So I move very fast. We rejected 109 applicants to a job post in 14 minutes. While they're thumbnail designers, this applies to any freelancer who tries to get gigs. So basically I'm just telling you the problem of, like, this is a major problem that beginners have. And you need to spend a significant amount of time on actually being good at what you do before you start outreaching. It can't be a copy and paste job. You need to actually use your brain. And then in this one, I didn't have anything specific to sell you, but I was selling you on something, right? And although I didn't have a link in the description, I was selling them on my new course, which was the Lead Gen Accelerator, which helps you basically improve your outreach and actually get clients. So what I was doing here was I was just building up a bit of sort of like demand for my product, because in a couple of days I'm going to pitch it. And, obviously we sold some copies of that as well. So I basically say, I don't have anything to sell you today, but I'm very close to dropping my exclusive offer for early birds joining the Lead Gen Accelerator. I think I'll send it this weekend. Keep your eyes on these emails, Matt. And then here's a funny meme I made whenever I was sending this one out. So that's basically an email that's promoting a product launch in a couple of days. And this is a really typical email you will find if you're a beginner, that a lot of businesses will do. They'll have a product, they're not going to sell it straight away. They're going to launch it on a certain date, and then they're going to basically send emails out on the day selling it. But you want to build up a little bit of sort of demand for it. And then whenever people are like waiting all week, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get that program, I can't wait to get this thing, can't wait to get that. That's when they have a lot of demand pent up, and then they want to buy the product. So that's the first email. That's just one that I wrote. It's got a little story in it. It teaches a bit of value, and then it pitches them something which they'll buy in a few days. And I obviously did have a link in the description, but I'll just move on to the next email, and you can kind of understand what I'm doing a little bit more. So this is, I believe, a supplement brand. It's definitely in the health industry. and it's called Neuro. And this is just a welcome email. So this is something that you'll see a lot of the time whenever you sort of sign up to an email list. Whenever you go to a website for the first time, maybe you clicked an ad on Instagram or something like that, and you go to the website, it'll be like, get 15% off, enter your email address here. And it'll basically send you an email like this. And so I want to break this down very simply. So it says, hey, a lot of the time people will do like, hey, and then it'll be your first name. And that's just simply a little bit of code that you do whenever you're sending the email out. And it basically customizes it for everybody's name who is basically signing up for the emails, right? So it's Dr. Jeremy here from Neuro, and I wanted to be the first to say welcome. We're here to help you relieve unbearable pain with proven to work, easy to use massager, right? So you see that basically, here is who I am, just because I know you just signed up. People sign up for an email list and then half the time they forget, right? And they might not open this email for like an hour or like 6 hours. So you kind of just have to like reintroduce yourself with the welcome email or with many emails. You kind of want to just be like, this is who I am. Here's why you should care about what I have to say. And here's exactly what we do. We help you relieve pain with proven and easy massagers, whether it's knee, feet, or back pain. So we have the solution for you. The best part, it's completely risk-free for the first 90 days. So you see how they're like, everything's spaced out, one line, one line, one line. And the important stuff is it's in bold. And they're making a promise here. They're saying, look, it's completely risk-free. Like, our product is so good that we're going to guarantee that it works by refunding you if you don't like it. And we're excited for you to join the family. So much so that we're offering you 15% your first order if you use the code WELCOME15 at checkout. Experience spa-like relaxation, stress relief, and reduced tension at home without the spa price tag. Just like so. Let me just break down a couple of the things here. I'll go through. You can see the rest of this email. So the reason this works really well, right, is that they basically explain very simply. They get to the point straight away of like who we are and what we do, and you already know about us. And so we also want to tell you that, like, if you buy our product, there's literally no risk for you. It's the best offer of all time, and we're going to give you 15% off as well. And here are all the benefits, right? You see how that they're selling you on the benefits. They're not telling you what they could easily do is they could say, look, you know, if someone says sell me this pen, you could sit and talk about the pen and like, you know, oh, this is the best ballpoint. This is it fits in your hand the best. It's a nice quality, blah, blah, blah. People don't give a shit about the actual product. They care about what the product does for them. So for this one, for example, they could sit and go on about their massagers and how they're the best in the market and how they do this or that. But basically, they just need to address what the customer's pain points are going to be, which is, I want to get spa-like relaxation, so I just want to chill out. I want to relieve my stress. I want to reduce my pain. And I want to reduce my tension, which is, again, reducing my pain. And I want to do all of that without having to spend a ton of money. And then they go just like Monica did, right? So then they use an actual customer testimonial. So they use social proof. Social proof is another thing that like a lot of companies will use. Like every company basically will use social proof because you don't want to be the first person to try something. So if they say, look, Monica already got the benefits of our product, and here's what she had to say about it. She said 5 stars, blah, blah, blah. You know, we're rated very highly on Trustpilot, or here's some customer reviews of our products, or here's, you know, even if you see an advert on TV, it's like everybody, let's say it's an alcohol brand, everybody's sitting around happy using the product because they want to sell you a vision of what the product will do in your life, and they want you to see that other people are enjoying it. Whereas if it's if you're the first person to ever try a certain brand of beer, you're like, nah, I don't want to try that. It could be like, there could be anything in that. Like, I don't know. So that's why you use social proof. And then we finish the email with a call to action. So this is the call to action. Very, very clear. Use this code. And then they sign off with Dr. Jeremy. So that's another email that will teach you a couple of different things. Now, here's another email which I found, which is basically about a supplement company. And as you can see, the subject line starts with, only 1 tablespoon melts 4 pounds of body fat. So taking one, like, so you see how like melts 4 pounds of belly fat, that's what people want to lose. And it's a very simple solution to a big problem that people have, right? Taking 1 tablespoon of this chili oil each morning can help you burn more fat than if you spent an hour in the gym. What's even more wild is that the more you take it, the better it works. That's because this spicy oil heats up your metabolism, allowing you to burn fat all the time, even when you're sitting on the sofa, right? So you see how like it's just selling you on the benefits of this. This new and exciting thing does this thing that basically allows you to get the benefit, right? So you don't really understand, as a consumer, you don't really understand how the product works, but but basically you'll be excited by the fact that this new method of getting rid of the problem that you have is available, and that you kind of want to understand, like, how does it work? So they just say, look, this new method, this is what it does, and this is how it gives you the benefit, even when you're sitting on the sofa, which just makes life so easy for the customer, right? It sounds crazy, but folks are losing 18 pounds of fat in 3 weeks just by taking this tablespoon every morning. So this is like a crazy claim. Plus, it's something that comes from a common grocery store ingredient, which means it's cheap and easy to make too. And when you mix this oil with one other kitchen ingredient, you don't even taste the spiciness at all, which means it's something everyone can use. If you haven't started doing this yet, I recommend you make it a part of your morning ritual right away, and then it's a call to action, and then it's a little sign up. And then they do a PS. PS is something that, a lot of email copywriters will use to basically sell the product even further. This free bottle of turmeric is only available, so it's limited. So there's a small amount of people who can get it. And if you buy it now, you will be one of those small amount of people. It makes you feel exclusive. It makes you feel like you're getting something that other people aren't, which feels great. So then they call to action again. So like, click this button, right? So that's another email. Finally, I'm going to go for this email. This is a very attention grabbing email. And again, it's a health based email. It sells a health product. So number 1, prostate killer. So what you have to understand as well is, with these subject lines, basically they're sent out to people who already have done the research on the people who are getting these emails, because the people who sign up to get emails from a company are basically people who are interested in whatever they have to sell already. So the company knows a lot about this person. The company knows like what your problems are, how they can solve them, and how they can appeal to your pain points. So as you can see, number 1, prostate killer, is obviously something that their customers think about. Dear reader, did you eat this for breakfast this morning? And then you click it, right? And it's probably just like oranges or something, probably something really simple that like a lot of old people would eat, because this is obviously targeted at old people. According to the National Institute of Health, which is like a really prestigious, credible thing, this food could be killing your prostate. So this is the thing I want to avoid. This is the customer's thing that they want to avoid. This is the thing that they do all the time, which they eat this food. And this is a really credible way of saying, a really credible institution that says I shouldn't be eating it. So really credible person says, don't eat this thing. Oh, I'm eating it every single day. Oh, it's giving me this horrible problem that I have. So it says causing you to run to the bathroom every hour. So this is probably something that they've done the research on and that they know the customer has, is like really bad bowels. And making it so that you never truly feel relieved. In fact, if you eat this food on a regular basis, chances are you wake up 2, 3, even 5 times a night to pee. So this is a problem that's probably very common among old people or people who have these issues with their prostate. Does that sound like you? And then it says, click here to discover this prostate killing food. So this one probably isn't selling a product. It's probably sending them to either a blog, or maybe it's sending them to a sales page that will then basically sell them on a product at the end. So this one is just intending to get the click. So they just want people to read this email, click this, and then probably read a sales page which will tell them to buy a product to solve this problem, right? And then again, they use a PS. You know the feeling where you're standing in the urinal at a crowded bathroom waiting for one single drop to fall out, only to zip up after what feels like an hour, return to your seat and feel that urge to pee come screaming back. All because you ate this one food. So it's really making an enemy out of whatever this food is, which is probably like oranges. It looks like something really common. And it's making an enemy out of it, and it's telling you about something that you can probably relate to. And then it's telling you that if you just click this button, we will just help you avoid this problem ever again. So if you're a copywriter, you need to be studying emails every single day if you want to get better at them. And the best way to do that is by using a swipe file. So a swipe file is essentially just a massive collection, like a Google Drive folder full of hundreds and hundreds of emails or other pieces of copy that you can study and get better at with. So I actually have what's called the ultimate swipe file, where we have multiple different swipe files of different types of copy, and it's all available inside our coaching program. I only sell one thing, and it's for beginner copywriters, and it's for anyone who's a little bit confused or they want to start making money with copywriting and they want to get started right away. So if you're interested, hit the link in the description. You get this ultimate swipe file along with so much more, which you'll see if you just click that link in the description. Okay, so in this section, I'm going to show you how to use an email autoresponder. This is an email marketing software that allows you to basically send out emails and do tons of different cool shit with it. So the one that I'm going to show you today is just one that I use for my business. It's called Kajabi, and it's not the most popular. It's not the most used, but it has all the same features, and this is pretty much the same across the board. So this is a good, easy one to show you how to use this, right? So as you can see, we have create your first email marketing campaign. We also have something called contacts, which is basically, it's going to be the contacts is like the list of people that are going to be on your email list. But we're just going to start with email campaigns because that's the simplest thing we can go for. So as you can see, we have two different types. We have an email broadcast or an email sequence. Now, what's the difference? An email sequence is a series of emails. It's where you write it all at once and then you schedule it out for as soon as someone does a certain action on your website. So an email sequence, a good example would be a welcome sequence. So let's say you visit a website and it says, hey, sign up for our email list, and you click sign up and you enter your email address. It will trigger an email sequence. So like immediately you'll receive an email saying, welcome, hey, how's it going? Then a day later, you'll be automatically sent the next email, a day later, the next email, etc., etc. So that's what an email sequence is. It's just an automatic trigger of emails. And there are tons of things you can do with that where you can basically set it to, if someone doesn't open a particular email, you can send them a follow-up. So let's say it's like, okay, I noticed you didn't open yesterday's email, so I wanted to send you this again in case you missed it. It's a free training that I'm sure will help you with blah, blah, blah. So there's so much you can do with email sequences, but we're going to look at email broadcasts here because it's really, really simple. So the first thing we want to do is basically, what is an email broadcast? It's just when you send an email out at whatever time you want and it's not triggered by an automation. It's basically just if you want to write like a daily email or a weekly email, this is how you would do it. So if we go in here, we'll see that there are lots of these crappy sort of templates. I never use those. Let's just call this one, create. And all contacts. So this is a brand new empty account, so there's nobody on this account, but if we just save and continue, you're able to select if you want only customers, like people who have previously bought something to receive an email, you can select customers. If you want people who have not bought something before, you can select those. You can do tons of different stuff with that, which is pretty cool. So it's going to ask for an internal title, so I just put one, and then it's going to ask for our subject line. And so what we do here is we pretty much just enter our subject line. And there are tons of different, these are all just pre-saved ones that I've sent out before. But if you want to customize like first names and stuff, this is pretty cool. So this is something you'll see on a lot of emails, is like they'll have your first name or they'll have some details about you, right? So you can do something like personalize, right, which is first name. And so as you can see, it just, once it puts that little code in, it will send that email out to everybody on the list. And if it has their first name, like if they entered their name and their email address, it's going to say, hey David, or hey Mark, or whatever your first name is. So the email will come up as like, David, I've got something for you, and it looks really personalized. And if someone sees that notification pop up on their phone or in their email inbox, they're going to pay more attention. Then you could start by being like, hey, first name, and you take a little comma, and then you get into whatever the email's about. And you can upload images, files, all that sort of stuff, but like nobody ever does these. We only ever use links. Also, like another cool thing is like if I have a link that I want to basically hide and make it look better. So if I want to say, okay, I just made a new YouTube video, we can go here. Sorry, can't even spell. New YouTube video. We can select all of this. Then we can go to insert and edit link. And then we can just go to www.youtube.com. Once we do that, now it's like added the link, so someone can just click on YouTube video and it will send them straight to whatever the video link is. So this is pretty cool, and there's tons of different things you can do. You can also, like, if you're writing emails, you want to try and write them in a way where people are actually reading in your tone. So whoever the business owner is, generally if you're writing emails, you're probably going to start writing for somebody with a personal brand. So you could be like, emphasize certain things. So this is where little tools like, bold and italic and stuff come in. So it's like, I really want you to follow my new training, right? So instead of just having it like that, you could go, I really want you to follow my new training. And then let's say the training is like this. You'll learn 3 main things. Firstly, say email marketing. Blah, 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 blah. Secondly, sales pages, right? And then what you would do, you just go blah, blah, blah. Then you can pretty much just highlight that. Like, everyone knows how to obviously set up titles and stuff like that, but these are actually really, really important in emails if you're going to provide value, because you pretty much just make the viewer's life easier, and you have to do that. These emails have to be like the easiest thing in the world to read, because if they're not, then people won't read them and they certainly won't buy anything, and you just won't get hired. You can also set up little automations, which are just like little repeating tasks. So if somebody opens this email, you can trigger them as like, oh, they opened this email, which means they're interested in this type of thing. So we can send them more emails that's kind of the same as that stuff. So automations are really, really good. You can basically build, like with an email marketing software, you can build a machine for somebody that just prints them money, because you can set up automations. You can set up little sequences of things to happen that will only happen if, you know, certain people express their interest in something. So the same way that, you know, you feel like Facebook and Google are listening to your phone, this, you can essentially do the same from an email marketing thing. You can be like, this person, we sent them out 30 emails this month and they only opened the 5 emails that were about spiders. So let's send them products related to spiders or whatever. Like, you can basically say, okay, like if we even go to the automation, when email broadcast is opened, then do this, subscribe to an email sequence, register to an event. So register them for the spider convention next Tuesday or something. Or you can add a tag being like spiders, and then the next time you want to send out a broadcast or an email, you just say, I only want to send this people to who like spiders, because I want to send products related to that, or emails related to that product or whatever, right? You can also send coupons. You can be like, I saw you opened that email, blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much it. So that is how you can use that. Let's just save and continue. I'll show you how to finish this. And you'd pretty much go here. You'd be like, this is your preview, schedule the email. And then you can just schedule this to go out whenever you want, basically. So we don't have any recipients because this is like not even a real website. But yeah, we pretty much just schedule this for a date and time to go out. We ideally want to send that out probably at like 3 p.m. or between like 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. in the UK or the US. Like, you just kind of want to optimize for those things, and you'll generally know how to send that, or like what time to send it out based on like where the audience is from. So if you've got a brand that's in the US and all the customers are from the US, you want to send it out at the best time for the US. So yeah, I'm going to try and not make this too complicated, but that's pretty much everything you need to know about setting up emails. You can send out email sequences, you can set them up 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. There's tons of different things you can do, but this should basically explain everything as simply as possible. So if you're ready to actually start making money as a copywriter and get results like these on screen, then I recommend you click the link down below and apply to work with me and my team. And if you're still stuck on how to write emails as a beginner copywriter, you need to watch the video on screen. In this video, you can watch me write an email completely from scratch and break everything down for you.